Hello luxury watch lovers! In this channel I cover the background, fundamental design features, and things to consider before buying your watch. If you have a luxury watch that you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below. In this video, I will cover the 10 best blue dial watches. Watches with blue dials are still popular today. They never get tired of their timeless aesthetic and are fashionable and adaptable enough to mix with any clothing. Blue dial watches not only provide a new depth to the rich hues of titanium, white gold, and platinum, but is also cherished as sporting classics. Without a doubt, the color blue would have to be the dial color if there is one that is equally attractive and functional as black. And definitely a timeless option that merits further attention is timepieces with blue dials. These blue dials are highly versatile and come in a wide range of watch styles. From fancy watches to athletic tool watches to everyday watches that one can wear casually. A watch with a blue dial always looks stylish on the wrist, regardless of what dress you wear it with. You are now in luck if you want to add more blue dial watches to your collection. We have put together a list of the top 10 blue dial watches available that are worth purchasing. Stay tuned to this video and see if any of these watches might appeal to you. Starting at number 10, Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. The Tudor Black Bay line has been such a success that the Swiss heritage brand has almost entirely been replaced by its numerous iterations. There is a Black Bay for every taste, including the Baytoner Black Bay chronograph, the cutting-edge and covert Black Bay ceramic, and the shockingly opulent BB58 18-karat gold watch. But this needs to be the phrase that is best expressed. The BB58 Blue might be the best everyday dive watch available, combining the iconic proportions with an adaptable blue dial and less overt historical references. Taking a look at some of its design features, this watch has a case size of 39mm, a thickness of 11.9mm, and a lug width of 20mm. Regarding movement, its automatic Tudor caliber MT5402 allows for a power reserve of up to 70 hours. Its dial is protected by a sapphire crystal and it has an impressive water resistance of up to 200 meters. You're looking at a price of about $3,559 for this watch. Moving on to number 9. Hublot Classic Fusion Blue Titanium 511 NX7170LR. Try this titanium timepiece from Hublot's Classic Fusion collection, which features a gorgeous blue dial as a lightweight substitute for steel. This is a big timepiece, even by modern standards. 6 screws that are secured to the bezel of its 45mm case give it a nearly industrial appearance. There's no denying the seriousness of this Hublot timepiece. This Hublot's watch's blue dial has a conventional 3-hand design with a date window at 3 o'clock to balance the strong-looking case construction. This blue watch has a self-winding movement, which ensures accuracy adjusted to wrist movement. Zooming in on its design features, this watch has a case size of 45mm. And its automatic self-winding movement allows for a power reserve of 42 hours. Its dial is protected by a sapphire crystal and it has a water resistance of up to 50 meters. You can expect to pay about $6,800 for this watch. Hopping across to number 8. Seiko Prospex Monster Stainless Steel Blue Dial SRPD25K1. We selected the Monster model with the code SRPD25K1 from Seiko's Prospex line as our first dive watch. As the name implies, the size of this watch, which measures 42.4 millimeters in diameter and 13.4 millimeters in thickness, will immediately catch your attention. The big black bezel, which is placed on top of a good thick steel band, bulks up the size even further. When you come to the dial, it has a sleek, polished blue finish and a ton of useful dive functions. The combination of arrow and spear hands makes it simple to keep track of time. The bronze-colored markers are huge and covered in powerful lume. The entire thing is finished off with a day-date indicator and Cyclops lens at 3 o'clock. Looking at its design features, this watch has a case size of 42.4 millimeters, a thickness of 13.4 millimeters, and a lug width of 20 millimeters. It has an automatic movement that allows for a power reserve of up to 41 hours. Its dial is protected by a hardlex crystal, and it has a water resistance of up to 200 meters. And you're only looking at a price of about $485 for this watch. Climbing the ladder at number 7, Orient Bambino. Another well-liked affordable watch that receives accolades for its value is the Orient Bambino. There are a few blue dial alternatives in the Bambino line, but this blue-black explosion dial is likely the most adaptable. The dark outside ring is an even darker blue that is nearly black, fading from the center's vivid midnight blue color. The Bambino is a wonderful choice for a dress watch that won't break the bank, featuring simple hour markers and chic silver hands. With a 41mm case and a 22mm strap, it is a somewhat large watch and might not be ideal for those with smaller wrists. Taking a look at its design features, we're looking at the model FAC0880-4D0 with a case size of 41mm, a thickness of 11mm, and a lug width of 22mm. It has a Japanese automatic movement that allows for a power reserve of up to 40 hours. Its dial is protected by a sapphire crystal, and it has a water resistance of up to 100 meters. And it's definitely one of the most affordable watches at a price of about $130. Skipping across to number 6, Seiko Blue Dial Automatic Presage Watch, SRPB41J1. While this watch has a stylish, fine-link stainless steel bracelet, the dial design is what will catch your eye. The sunburst dial's remarkable light attraction properties produce a sheen that is virtually likely to draw attention. The dial completes the ideal dress watch appearance and feels by combining arrow tip hour markers, slender hands, and a modest date window at the 3 o'clock position. There are also some excellent extra features for the price, like a sapphire crystal and a reliable automatic hand-wound mechanism. Onto its design features. This watch has a case size of 40mm, a thickness of 12mm, and a lug width of 20mm. It has an automatic movement and a water resistance of up to 50 meters. You're looking at a price of about $385 for this watch. Meeting at the halfway mark is number 5. IWC Pilot's Watch Mark 18th Edition Le Petit Prince. You only need to look at the Le Petit Prince to see why IWC is recognized for its outstanding selection of pilot watches. The design, which is already sophisticated and laser-focused, is given a hearty dose of color and depth by the luminous blue dial. There is no question that this watch is for a pilot. The IWC 35111 automatic movement, which features a 42-hour power reserve, powers the 40mm watch. The Mach 18th is a sensible option in line with IWC's efficiency philosophy, thanks to the date display and hacking capabilities. Nothing extraneous is being provided to you here. Taking a look at its design features, this watch comes with a case size of 40mm, a thickness of 11mm, and a lug width of 20mm. Regarding movement, its IWC's 35111 automatic movement allows for a power reserve of up to 42 hours. Its dial is protected by a sapphire crystal, and you can expect to pay about $4,250 for this watch. Getting closer to the top is number 4, Tissot Seastar. The Tissot Seastar is the watch to choose if you want the look and feel of a high-end dive watch, but don't want to spend $8,000 on a Submariner or even $2,000 on a micro-brand timepiece. From the precise bezel and the exquisite stainless steel construction to the 300 meters of water resistance and Swiss automatic movement, it features all the dive essentials. Additionally, it has a luxurious and regal vibe thanks to the glossy royal blue dial. Looking at its design features, this watch has a case size of 43mm, a thickness of 12.7mm, and a lug width of 22mm. This watch has a Swiss automatic movement. Its dial is protected by a sapphire crystal, and it has a water resistance of a whopping 300 meters. This watch is definitely value for money at a price of only $720. Stepping across to number 3, Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. Tissot is one of your best selections for a Swiss-made watch with a low price and a blue dial. They are particularly pertinent in this situation because their Powermatic 80 series includes various versions with blue dials. The blue waffle dial on this PRX Powermatic 80 sets it apart from other watches because it gives the depth and visuals that most plain dials lack. The blue contrasts well with the stainless steel case and isn't overly loud or dazzling. The watch has a Tissot Powermatic 80 111 automatic movement with a Nivachron hairspring, which is a patented innovation for increased precision. More significantly, you're getting Tissot quality here, and it's fairly amazing to find a luxury sports watch from a traditional Swiss company that beats many of its rivals. Looking at its design features, this watch has a case size of 40mm and a thickness of 11mm. Its Tissot Powermatic 80 111 automatic movement allows for a power reserve of up to 80 hours. Its dial is protected by a sapphire crystal, and it has a water resistance of up to 100 meters. You're only looking at a price of about $650 for this watch. One step closer to the top is number 2, Seiko SNKL43. If you must do a comparison between the SNXS77 and the SNKL43, it ought to be simpler to locate if you're hunting for a reasonably priced Seiko watch with a blue dial. The SNKL43 should fit comfortably on the wrist thanks to its housing, which some have dubbed the most comfortable Seiko 5 case. It's a men's automatic watch from Seiko with a stainless steel case and a hardlex crystal protecting its blue analog display. It employs a mechanical self-winding movement with a 7S26 caliber that cannot be manually wound or hacked. Compared to quartz watches, which only tick once per second, it ticks 6 times per second, giving the second hand a smoother movement. When fully wound, the watch should keep time for up to 43 hours and will wind itself when moved. Looking at its design features, this watch has a case size of 37mm and a thickness of 11mm. We're looking at a lug width of 18mm and a lug-to-lug of 42mm. It has a 7S26 automatic movement that allows for a power reserve of up to 43 hours. Its Hardlex crystal protects the dial, and it has a water resistance of up to 30 meters. And if you're sold on this watch, you can expect to pay only $90 for this watch. And reaching the top at number 1. Seiko Prospex Special Edition Blue Silicon Automatic Divers Watch SRPF79. Since blue is the distinguishing hue of all Seiko Save the Ocean editions, it's no surprise that this watch comes in a blue dial. This watch has a blue wave dial that also changes color to simulate ocean water, changing in hue from a lighter shade of blue from the top to a darker, nearly black hue at the bottom. The dial becomes more intriguing and colorful as a result of the color shift. The lines that are intended to simulate waves are not straight, rather they are wavy and come in various sizes. Additionally, attractive are the depth and attention to detail the wave pattern gives the dial. This watch has huge applied hour markings, as a dive watch should. The markers have Lumi Bright applied and polished metal frames surrounding them. Looking at its design features, this watch has a case size of 43.8 millimeters and a thickness of 12.8 millimeters. We're looking at a lug width of 22 millimeters and a lug-to-lug of 48.7 millimeters. Its 4R36 movement allows for a power reserve of up to 41 hours. Its dial is protected by a sapphire crystal and it has a water resistance of up to 200 meters. And if this number 1 is your number 1, you can expect to pay about $600 for this watch. And this wraps up my review of what I think are the 10 best blue dial watches. Let me know which one is your favorite. I will provide links for the watches mentioned. Thank you for watching this video. Nothing helps my channel more than you watching until the very end. These videos do take a long time to make, but are a labor of love. If you enjoyed this type of content, let me know in the comments. And remember, time is your greatest asset.